It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 15th day of July, 2022. Coming to you from Central Virginia, Bedford County, Virginia. And welcome aboard another day at the office. Main story today, a Virginia couple surpasses 1,000 days at seas, and it wasn't hot air Tom or Cindy. How about that? That's the lead story on Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 15th day of July. Today, folks, is National Tapioca Pudding Day. Not one of my favorites, but I'll eat it. Probably not going to go running out after the show looking for some place that makes tapioca, however. Cruise ship sailing today from North America ports. Up in Boston, we've got the Norwegian Pearl, Bayonne, the Oasis of the seas, Port Canaveral, Carnival Liberty, and Independence of the seas, West Palm Beach, Margaritaville at the sea, we hope. Talk about that in a little bit. Miami, you've got the Norwegian Sky, Carnival Conquest, and Freedom of the Seas. Out in Los Angeles at Long Beach, the Carnival Radiance, San Pedro, Navigator of the Seas, San Francisco, the Carnival Miracle, Seattle, the Celebrity Solstice, and Ovation of the Seas, and Regatta all sailed today. Vancouver, we've got Radiance of the Sea. Both the cruise and land packages get underway today. And in Anchorage, you've got the Celebrity Millennium cruise sails. And you've got land packages for the Norwegian Jewel. And in Fairbanks, we've got land packages for Nordam, Norwegian Jewel, and Majestic Princess. Headlines today: Beyond, the Virginia couple surpassing 1,000 days at sea on Carnival, by the way. Norwegian announces Educator winners. Royal Caribbean hires 600 crew from Trinidad and Tobago. Norfolk damage is still up in the air. Greenland canceled on NCL Itinerary. Ponant's lock Commandant Charcot reached the geographic North Pole for the first time. Issues for Margaritaville at Sea Paradise, and lots more live this morning at 11 o'clock. If you're listening via the podcast, always welcome aboard. You can access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or any of the places where you get your normal podcasts from, like iHeartRadio, Pandora, Podchaser, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any of them. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. And as always, down in the description of the video, there'll be a link that you can jump over to the video feed should you want to check out any pictures or clips that we might show in the broadcast. Also, in the description of the podcast, as well as the description of the live stream, there'll be a link to the New York Times podcast, which went live yesterday. When What Matters the Most is going on a cruise, which was about me. So if you missed out on it yesterday, then the link is there. You can go check it out. I was really pleased with it. It turned out, I thought, really well. So we'll get on with today's news after a quick word from one of our network sponsors. All right, on with the news for today. couple from North Garden, Virginia, Robert and Nancy Houchens. It's a small town about 175 miles from the seasonal home port of Norfolk. Recently reached their amazing milestone of 1,000 sailing days while on the Spirit class Carnival Pride, which is their favorite fun ship. To commemorate the occasion, Robert asked the crew members to help arrange a surprise for his wife, and the momentousness of the achievement caught the attention of everyone on board. The couple was able to pose with numerals to mark their days at sea and celebrated with many of the crew members. After so many cruises, at least 15 on board Carnival Pride, the couple considers Carnival crew members of the family. Cruises are known to be affordable, but cruise after cruise after cruise can add up to an expensive travel budget. So how did the Houchens save so much to be able to spend so much time at sea? And Nancy said, our goal was to sell everything we own and pretty much live on cruise ships. We've done a pretty good job at that since we've retired. Many couples downsize after retirement when children have moved out of the house. So much space may no longer be needed. The Houchens began sailing more than 20 years ago, while their children were still living at home. But that is no longer the case. The couple now has more disposable income to spend on their favorite getaways. Cruising is also a terrific value, even more so as guests build loyalty with a single cruise line and may be offered deep discounts to welcome them back on additional voyages or on expenses. Prime example, the next cruise I book on Royal Caribbean, I will be Diamond. One of the perks to Diamond is 5 drinks a day, 5 alcoholic drinks a day. That's as much as I drink, so I won't have to worry about booze on the cruise at all after that on Royal Cruises. There's a way of saving some money. Careful planning can also make cruising even more affordable. The Houchens are currently on back-to-back sailings of the Carnival Pride, meaning 2 cruises without needing separate airfare to reach different home ports and without other incidental costs such as pre- or post-cruise hotels or airport transfers. This can be a great savings, making the cruise even more of a good value. Carnival Pride is currently home ported in Dover in England for the summer, offering alternating 9 and 12-night cruises. The 9-night cruises visit a variety of ports throughout Norway with phenomenal scenic cruising along the fjords. The 12-night sailings, on the other hand, visit exciting ports in Holland, Sweden, Finland, Germany, and Denmark for a true immersion into the diverse cultures of Northern Europe. In November, the ship will reposition to Tampa for winter and spring. Congratulations to the folks with 1,000 days at sea. I've sailed a lot, folks, over the years. I'm nowhere near 1,000 days. That's just awesome. All right. Norwegian Cruise Line has announced the 100 winners of its 2022 Norwegian's Giving Joy Contest, an annual recognition program that celebrates educators across the United States and Canada. The 100 winners will embark on a 5-night cruise aboard Norwegian Prima during her inaugural voyage from Galveston on October 27th. During the sailing, Grammy Award-winning artist Kelly Clarkson will host a concert. A special award ceremony will also take place to honor the educators and to announce the top 3 grand prize winners, who will each receive $25,000, $15,000, and $10,000 respectively for their schools. Now in its 3rd year, the Giving Joy program accepts nominations of teachers, then permits open voting to select which teachers show the greatest dedication and best inspire their students. The top 200 semifinalists have their credentials and experience verified before the 100 finalists are announced. Winners came from 28 states and 2 Canadian provinces. By the end of 2022, the Giving Joy program will have rewarded 230 teachers across the United States and Canada with free cruises and donated over $235,000 to schools since it began in 2019. Some of you might remember a troubling story a couple weeks ago from Norfolk when a bunch of people got off the cruise and went back to their car and found their cars trashed, damaged and broken into, windows broken, stuff stolen, all while they were vacationing on the Carnival Magic, operated by, of course, Carnival Cruise Line. The city-owned parking lot was assumed to be responsible for the damages. Dozens of cruisers sailing aboard Carnival Magic in May out of Norfolk came back from vacation to see their cars had been damaged and broken into. In a recent development, the city is not prepared to cover the expenses. Cruisers who experienced vandalism to their vehicles have been in question of who truly is liable for the damage. The destruction occurred in a city parking lot, Cedar Grove parking lot, that was advertised to have 24-hour security surveillance. Cedar Grove parking lot is a gated parking lot that holds 1,200 vehicles located on Monticello Avenue between Princess Anne Road and Virginia Beach Boulevard. Those affected stated they paid $90 for the 6 days of parking and would like to be refunded in full due to the lack of security and damages their vehicles received. Damages that occurred included broken windows, water damage, stolen belongings, exterior car body scratches, shattered glass on car interiors. Cruise passengers embarking from Norfolk often use this lot because of its security, but the city attorney's office is denying responsibility for the vandalism. The city's attorney stated that they are not responsible for the damage and visitors park at their own risk on the Cedar Grove parking lot. There wasn't anything that said park at your own risk, however. The city has denied any negligence on its behalf and will not be compensating for the destruction. Affected travelers in search of answers are not settling the responses received and are continuing to seek a liable party for the unfortunate event. Now they have tried to contact the owners of the lot and the security service. Those folks are not responding in any way. My first thought on this, folks, goes to the city of Norfolk. You know, you might look at how much this is going to cost you from a standpoint of how much you're going to lose if Carnival tells you to go to hell and takes the business of sailing from Norfolk down to Charleston or up to Baltimore or someplace else that's more amenable to taking care of the Carnival customers. The lot was supposed to be secured. Somebody's got to be responsible for this. And it could be the owner of the security company, it could be the lot, it could be the city. Somebody got to pay these people. And you need to do it quickly and get it done, get it over with. Or I wouldn't blame Carnival at all to tell all you people to go to hell. Just my thought. All right. Troubling story also out of Norwegian. A cruise that for many would have been a once-in-a-lifetime experience has turned sour. On an 11-night cruise to Greenland on board Norwegian Star. Citing unsafe weather conditions between Iceland and Greenland, Norwegian Cruise Line has decided to make significant alterations to the scheduled itinerary. Guests were only informed the night before the cruise sailing. Sailing from Reykjavik, Iceland, the vessel will not sail to Greenland, but instead to Norway to spend most of the cruise there. A cruise to Greenland is not something that many people book last minute. It's often a bucket list destination that many people have looked forward to, that many of us have never been. The guests who booked the 11-night Iceland and Greenland cruise on board Norwegian Star will not have been any different. Norwegian Star was scheduled to spend 2 days at sea in transit from Reykjavik to Nuuk, Greenland, with an intended arrival on the 17th. A major storm is brewing in the North Atlantic and around the southern tip of Greenland, so say the people at Norwegian. With wave heights expected to reach 18 to 20 feet, Norwegian Cruise Line does not feel the circumstances would be safe for the ship, crew, and guests. This means Norwegian Star will not make its intended cause at Nuuk on the 17th, Qaqortoq on the 19th, and Nanartalik on the 20th. And yes, my tongue got tied around my eye teeth and I couldn't see what I was saying. Instead, Norwegian Cruise Line has informed guests the vessel will be sailing from Reykjavik to Norway and will spend the time between the 17th and 20th in Norway. The ship will now arrive in Bergen on the 17th, Olden on the 18th, Alesund on the 19th, Trondheim on the 20th. Then, instead of having 2 days back at sea to Iceland, the ship will arrive in Akureyri, Iceland, a day early, where Norwegian has scheduled an overnight stay. To compensate guests for the canceled cost to Greenland, Norwegian is offering future cruise credits of about 30% of the voyage fare paid. Cruise Line is also refunding any shore excursions booked through Norwegian. My only problem with this, folks, yesterday on Cruise Amigos, we pulled up the weather in Greenland. And it looked pretty mild to me. Now, did that change overnight? I don't know. I have not checked it today. But Norwegian's had a little history here recently of stretching the truth a bit. All right, this was kind of a neat story. On the 13th, a couple days ago, Ponant's Commandant Charcot reached the geographic North Pole, marking the first time for a luxury passenger vessel to bring travelers to the location, according to a press release. This follows Commandant Charcot's first voyage to the North Pole in September of 2021, the first French vessel to reach this latitude. It is with great humility and emotion that we have reached this latitude, each of us aware of the exceptional character of this moment we have been living, said Captain Patrick Marchisio. There we go. Who was at her helm. Boy, I'm having trouble with words this morning. All right. Royal Caribbean. Looks like some good news to me. Over 600 Trinidad and Tobago nationals will take to the sea for the first time as employees of Royal Caribbean just over a month since thousands flocked to the Royal Caribbean's recruitment drives in Trinidad and Tobago, the cruise line has confirmed 602 candidates have been hired so far. Royal Caribbean has confirmed that they've received 6,000 applications following recruitment exercises held in Port of Spain, San Fernando, and Scarborough in June. The recruitment caused a stir, prompting the cruise line to add an extra screening date at the National Academy of Performing Arts in Port of Spain. Royal Caribbean Group announced that 822 people were interviewed in the 4 days. It's been confirmed that following those interviews, Royal Caribbean will now be staffed with Trinidad and Tobago Trinidad and Tobago nationals in positions such as bar utility, bar servers, chefs, housekeeping, restaurant staff, guest services, and catering, doctors, and chefs. The cruise line said that people are also being considered for special and lower level positions such as casino staff, security, information technology, and electricians. However, these individuals will now require a follow-up interview and screening due to the nature of those positions. Royal Caribbean said that while only 822 of the 6,000 applicants were interviewed, the remaining applicants will still have the opportunity to be employed as they now form part of a wider tourism employment database. And finally this morning, our buddies at Margaritaville at Sea ran into a bit of an issue when the U.S. Coast Guard placed a no-sail order on the cruise line ships, the Paradise, at the port of Palm Beach, located in Riviera Beach, Florida. The Coast Guard revealed the reasons for its issuance of the no-sail order, saying cruise ships operated in the U.S. are required under federal law to have a certificate of compliance exam every 6 months. During the ship's annual exam, port stay control officers identified conditions which required the ship to stay in port until rectified. Due to the safety of the crew and passengers, the ships will not sail until the conditions are rectified. The order was issued on Wednesday after guests had already boarded the ship, and there was no announcement made to the guests. That was a mistake. Although Margaritaville at Sea was scheduled to depart on the 13th from Freeport, passengers awoke on Thursday morning to find themselves still docked in Palm Beach. All passengers disembarked at some point on Thursday, that would be yesterday, with many expressing their disappointment at the way the situation was handled. You can understand that. In a statement released yesterday afternoon, Margaritaville at Sea CEO Anil Kosa told Chillie Cruises Margaritaville at Sea was not able to move forward with its planned departure on the 13th. During a routine inspection, the United States Coast Guard identified some corrective actions that the cruise line is expeditiously undertaking and managing to ensure the safety of all crew members and guests. The cruise line's shoreside and shipboard teams are working closely with the United States Coast Guard to quickly address the flagged items and continue sailing on schedule. We do not anticipate any additional impact on our planned itineraries. All guests have disembarked from the ship and have received compensation for the inconvenience. Supposedly, Margaritaville at Sea Paradise will sail as scheduled this afternoon. That we'll have to wait and see. All right, that's it for news for today. Let's jump over and see who's fussing at me in the chat room. Carol's with us. Hi, Carol. Hi there, Tom. Loves tapioca. Sonny's with us. Hi, Sonny. Down in Mississippi. Cindy's here. Good morning, everybody. Melissa's with us. Hi, Melissa. Hope you're feeling good today. I feel terrific. I really have. The last 3 days, I felt as good as I have all along with this. So, so far, no major side effects. I hope, got a couple more weeks to go, and the doctor says I'll be good to go after that. If I don't have them by then, I'm not going to have them. So, and she's also very interested in me getting back on my cruising schedule. So, Gretchen's with us. Hi, Gretchen. Nikki's here. Katie's here. Katie's up there in the hinterlands in the north on Martha's Vineyard, out in the wilds of Martha's Vineyard. Oh, there's a wild piece of seaweed up there. It's very wild. Hot Air said, sad Greenland is out, but Norway is a very good alternative. Who wants to visit Greenland with bad weather? Well, that's the problem, Hot Air. Yesterday when we checked it, it was like 66 degrees, and the low temperature was only supposed to be like in 45 or something. So, yeah, I understand how storms can be at sea, but still, it sure wasn't popping up on the weather maps yesterday. Emily's with us. Cindy wants to know when my next cruise is. My next cruise is the Hot Air Tom cruise on August 21st. I'm probably not going to book anything before then. That's not written totally in stone. I do know that, 2 more weeks I got to go back for another liver test, assuming that's okay. And then 3 weeks after that, I go for the next Lupron injection, which I think is just a couple days before I leave to go meet Hot Air Tom and Cindy. So I probably don't have time to squeeze another cruise in there, but that's always subject to change. Cindy says, hope you'll be able to make the November Carnival Paradise cruise. So glad you're feeling well with the new treatment. Yep. Unless, something drastic happens, Cindy, I'll be there with bells on. That's also, that's a 3 cruise trip. I'm doing 2 cruises out of Tampa, and then on the off days, running over to get on Margaritaville and see Paradise. So, at least that's the plan right now. So anyway, that's what's up for that. So I should be there soon. I'm certainly hoping to. Joanne's with us. She says, happy Friday. Katie says, I don't cruise again until Thanksgiving. That's a long time for you, Katie. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. We probably have some new folks in the audience because of the whole New York Times thing yesterday. Plus, then Mr. Bucket List, boy, what awesome timing that he had. He posted the interview that he did with me on Quantum of the Seas last night. So that was absolutely perfect timing for him to get, when there's more interest in my channel than normal. So good for him. I'm glad. So if you guys did not see that interview, you might want to check it out on Mr. Bucket List. He interviewed the old fat guy. So if you're new to this channel, folks, we'll always appreciate the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. It doesn't cost you anything. and you'll be notified if you hit the little bell thingy when we go live or a new video is posted. I'm in the process of posting several videos now that I've been working on. So we will take care of that. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for today. You guys all have a fantastic weekend. I will be monitoring anything that happens and go live or video, one or the other, if there's any major events over the weekend. If not, I'll see everybody back here on Monday at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for Monday Travel and Cruise Industry News. For now, this is the old fat travel guy. Stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all meet on the high seas. You guys have a tremendous weekend. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry, so if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, chilly chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.